Hello guys, welcome back to our channel. By the way, I'm Judge Matthew De Leon and I will be explaining the components list and their purpose. We have 6 components such as the Arduino Uno, jumper cable potentiometer, 220R, resistor, breadboard, RGB 5mm LED. First we have the Arduino Uno, a microcontroller development board based on the ATmega328P. It features analog and digital I/O pins, a USB interface for uploading programs, and built-in PWM, pulse width modulation, support for dimming LEDs. It reads the analog values from the 3 potentiometer and outputs corresponding PWM signals to control the brightness of the red, green, and blue channels of RGB LED. Next, we have the jumper cable a flexible insulated wires with pins at both ends for easy solderless circuit connections. Its purpose is to carry power, ground, and signal connections between the Arduino, breadboard, potentiometers, and RGB LED. 10K potentiometer. A variable resistor with 3 terminals. Rotating the knob changes the resistance, producing the analog voltage output readable by the Arduino. Its purpose is to see if each potentiometer independently controls the brightness of one color channel, red, green, blue, to create custom color blends. Resistor 220R. It is a fixed value resistor that limits the current flowing through each channel of the RGB LED to prevent burning it out. Protect the RGB LED by keeping current at a safe level while allowing proper brightness control. 5mm RGB LED. It is a single LED package that contains 3 individual LED, red, green, blue, that can be lit individually or together. The brightness of each LED can be adjusted to mix colors. Its purpose is to display different colors by mixing the brightness of its red, green, and blue channels based on potentiometer input. Breadboard, a reusable platform for connecting components and wires without soldering. Its purpose is to provide a neat and organized way to connect the RGB LED, resistor, and potentiometers to the Arduino. And that is the last components of the list. Thank you for watching our video.
Good day everyone, welcome back to our channel, and today we will be making RGB light emitter, which is project 1. So let's get started.
welcome back to Arduino Programming. I am your host, Zion Azelis Bardos, and now we will be going through Activity 12. So, Activity 12 is, if I remember correctly, the RGB lights that you can adjust with three potentiometers. So, now we have here two variables. Now, these are the RGB pins for all of the, you know, potentiometers. Now we also have, oh shit, wait, cut, um, excuse me. All right. So basically, we have here three different pins for three different lights, but these are, sorry, these are multi-lights. So we have 9, 10, 11, which will output red, green, and blue. Now this one, however, is the potentiometer. Potentiometer is 0, 1, 2. They're all the potentiometers. This will be easier to explain if I have the board on me, but unfortunately I don't, so I'm just gonna have to explain. So now we have the void setup. So here we have the RGB pins. Now this will output all of the RGB pins, which goes from 0 to 3, which means it will count 0, 1, and 2, but not 3, because it's not less than or equal to. No, you have to change it to like this to count to 3, which means it will output 4 numbers instead of 3. So, yeah, sorry. Moving on. We also need to check out the serial, because to want you'd need to see the values of their outputs, because you need to debug it. You'd want to debug it because this is a hassle if you want to try it alone. So, moving on, we have here the actual code. So the code was the RGB values, which is in an array. Those are all of the potentiometers, if I remember. Oh, sorry, cut. So RGB values is an array which will declare for three objects. Now we have here three objects from red, green, and blue, which is printed into the serial monitor, which will output the values within the array that you just initialized. And sorry to tell this, but the for loop is for checking the potentiometer and the amount of value that it's using. So we have again 1023, which is the default value, and then we have set 255 as the minimum and maximum value. So the minimum value is 0, the maximum value is 255. So you cannot go over 255, because what this potentially does is divides 1023 by 255 to get the values. So moving on, we have to set the RGB colors. So this will output the entire code. So if you correct me if I'm wrong. Wait, no, sorry, cut. So when you turn a potentiometer, it will output that specific color, and if you turn other potentiometers while having another potentiometer on, you'd output a different color, which is not a base color. You get me? Alright, I'm sure you understand me. So we also have a small delay, just because it's for a smoother response, because you don't want to have it really output suddenly. I also forgot to mention the function here at the bottom, which is just a for loop that will write for the serial monitor, which is just this. So that's all. Thank you very much for listening, and this is Act 12 of Arduino Uno. So, I hope you enjoyed. Thank you very much.